looking up down here. Yes, even though this little town was blooming for years, but then we got a bunch of chiefs with the Nixie and twist, who chose to strangle all the business west. The logic in this, we really wonder what is going on. Listen to the chiefs, let Sosua grow. As with your meddling of it all, you make the season slow, so slow. Oh, let Sosua grow. Yes, all we need for now is just a plan to make Sosua grow. Hi everyone, it's Mr. T back again from sunny Dominican Republic. Thanks for tuning in, and I do hope you enjoy the little blues song that I made in the beginning. For decades here, millions of people have flocked in and out of Dominican Republic, especially Sosua, because of the beautiful beaches, the friendly and extroverted people, and the party life. However, for the last 8+ years, there's been a lot of arm wrestle going on politically here because the chiefs in charge here don't like the type of tourists, supposedly, that's been coming here for decades, and they want to try to strangle it and squash it. So therefore, they've now threatened some of the most happening businesses to shut down. So we're going to hear from some of the business owners what they've got to say about it. Here we go.
Well, I've heard the same thing as you've heard. I've heard that restaurateurs down here, excluding me as I'm in a hotel setting, but people on the main street here have been invited to different meetings. I've heard people say that they were invited. Others, restaurateurs, said they never heard anything about it. It's kind of Dominican business as usual down here. There's not really a lot of knowledge as to what's going on. No one knows the story yet, unfortunately.
Supposedly there's a list that's gone out. I received something even through my telephone that a number of businesses have been given notice that on a certain date they've got to be shut down.
Okay. I've heard something similar to that, and I saw that same list. The thing that worried me about that list, or that didn't seem to make sense to me, is they didn't want to have these bars meeting places for women. So they've told the ones, my understanding was, if you turn into a restaurant and were a legitimate restaurant, that you were able to stay in that location. The place over here across the street from me, Rumbers, has done that. And yet I hear they're still on the list. So again, it's kind of business as usual down here. Even though they say one thing, it looks like another may happen, unfortunately.
Okay, so it's very gray.
Yeah, it's always, you don't know what's going to happen here. There's been talk of moving it way down the street down here, but my understanding is that's more of a residential area, and they don't want that in their area, of course.
Well, one business owner started building a lot of structures down there in the new red light district, but nothing else has happened.
Exactly. In fact, he's been stopped, I believe, in his tracks, which makes no sense to me. I'm sure he had a full permit to start, so why are they stopping him? I mean, again, business as usual down here. There's no rhyme or reason to a lot of the way things go here, unfortunately.
So what's your gut instinct? Do they really want any red light district in reality, or is it just a scam?
Yeah, and my opinion is they will never acknowledge the existence of a red light district in this country. They just don't want to do that, whether it's the Catholic Church, whether it's the powers to be, the outside forces, the North American pressures, whatever it may be. They don't want that here. Now, it could be a carrot saying, we're going to move you down here just to gain access to the Main Street businesses. Mm-hmm. And then once the Main Street businesses are closed, oh, sorry, we don't want that here. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that happen, unfortunately.
Right.
Which doesn't help foreign investment in this country. If you're going to be shut down for no reason, why would you reinvest in the country?
Thank you very much for your comments, and I hope you stay safe from it all, even if it does start getting shut down here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think I will. The problem is if you close businesses down here, you stop tourists from coming. So it'll hurt everyone, Dominicans alike, unfortunately. So, as always, my friend, good to see you, Mr. T. Thank you for the chance, the opportunity to speak.
Thank you for being on camera. I appreciate your input. Have a good day.
You as well.
Cheers. I was lucky enough to meet the human rights president, Manuel Brito. You've seen him in another video before. Thanks for being on video.
Thank you.
On this beautiful day here.
Wow, man, this is fantastic.
Spectacular.
Beautiful beach right here, man.
This video is about what's going to happen to Sosua. What do you know?
Right now,
because they want to shut some businesses down.
I know, it's really crazy. if they kill the town, nobody gonna come here. So it's gonna, and then everybody gonna have a high time here in Sosua.
Well, they're already having a hard time.
Right, nobody gonna have no money in Sosua.
When I visited 10 years ago here, it was packed with people.
10 years ago, Sosua was completely full. We have people from all over the world.
So why would you say the economy has only gone down, 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 which is what I've seen?
You know, because, you know, the city holders just try to give a high time to Sosua. The people, they're not really happy with the city hall. So I hope it's got much better. They close really early. They close right now like 1 o'clock every night. You can give like 2 hours more, like at 3 o'clock. You understand what I'm saying? 3 o'clock, it's been fine. Like everybody can have, you know, make some money, have some business.
Manuel, thank you very much for your comments.
Oh, nice talking to you. You are a very nice person. God bless you, my man.
Thank you very much. You too. Cheers. Now I've just popped down to what's supposed to become Sosua's next red light district to separate that element from the normal tourism. Sounds like a good plan, but there's no action being taken. Only one business owner erected some structures that you can see behind me here, and he had his construction halted like Matt mentioned earlier in the video. So based on the fact that nothing's actually happening here and businesses are still being given notice to shut down, it's not looking too positive for Sosua's future. But next up, we're going to talk to a gentleman who's been heavily involved in politics here for a while and hear what he's got to say about it. I'm with Jose Moya that you've seen before in my videos. Thanks, Jose, for being on camera again. So what do you know about these shutdowns of party businesses, the most happening spots here, especially on Pedro Clisante? Will they do it? Will they shut them down?
Look, they give, how before we talk something personal, 1 year plus 3 months to remove all the bars and disco for this area. Maybe there are to create another place, but there are something in this area that are to keep. For me, it's important, and for everybody, because the other way is not many people is ready to move the bar or disco to this area.
The municipality don't seem to care about whether people are ready or not, and they're not helping people get established elsewhere. They just say shut down.
Yes,
and
the order.
All other businesses are only in existence here because people come here to party primarily, and then of course when they are here, then they go to the barber or the hairdressing salon or go for a nice massage, etc. But all these side businesses only exist, don't they, just because people can still party here. What if they kill that? What's going to happen to Sosua?
No beautiful future if something happens like that. But the disco, the bars, the restaurante have to be almost around together. That happens in many countries and city. Here have the only section Sosua in this area from Batey. Why? There are another particular intention or personal problem or political problem. They don't care. They think they have the power, they use the set.
All the very best for your business and your career.
Thank you, Mr. T. Always it's a pleasure to be with you in the programs. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Is one of the nicest towns in the country.
But they are supposedly getting heavy. They want to shut down the main party spots. What do you think of that?
Spots never stop it because that is the business of Sosua and everybody lives from that. The reason that come the tourists is every time the same.
Thank you very much for being on camera.
Welcome.
Cheers. So I've got Tommy here who's been on videos before. Tommy, what do you think's going to happen to Sosua in about, say, 8 to 10 months from now with all the things that's been discussed in the video so far?
Well, it's ambiguous because in this country things happen slowly and then they happen fast. It's my opinion that they're probably going to end up moving the area up north, I should actually say that, east of the city, and make what we have like red light districts like we have in Europe. I know that the present government would love to have it that way. I'm not sure how long it'll last, but you know, times are changing, things are changing, that's what life's about.
Right. And I don't see much activity in that zone. I was down there filming, as you saw earlier in this video. So with them not taking any action down there, just one businessman who's erected a few structures, why aren't they then helping businesses move down there, giving some tax incentives for shifting their party businesses into that area? Well,
they are. You look at the new China store that's going in where the Latin used to be. That's going to be a big draw, I'm sure.
No, I'm talking about the red light district. They're not helping any of the party businesses set up in the red light district.
I don't have any information on that. I know that you know, there's some people are building over there. I think it's too soon to tell because what's going to happen in 6 or 8 months is very different than what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. This country is a very ambiguous place.
Right.
But we love it here.
Okay,
you know.
Excellent. Tommy, always good to have you on video. Thanks for your comments.
Always happy to help.
Cheers.
Good luck.
My opinion is Sosua in the moment is passing for a procession, you know.
A stage.
Exactly. The problem is not the business. The problem is not the bar. The police had to have the control. They had to get the control because they lose the control. So when I saw the police don't work all your teeth, don't work straight, I think nothing gonna change. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we need good police here. We need
law enforcement instead of law abuse.
Exactly.
Okay. Ramon, great words. Thank you very much.
Nobody knows what's going to happen because they got a good plane. They think they got a good plane, but we don't see nothing. You know, they don't make nothing. They just speak and say something, but they don't do nothing.
No actions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Cesar. There's certain businesses that are really happening and others are not so much, but the ones that are really happening are the ones that they seem to want to get rid of and shut down. So what would happen if they do that?
Well, from my understanding, it's not so much a get rid of them as it is a relocation of that style of business. I think with, like I said, proper planning, if those businesses are given a designated area that is their own and the patrons want to go to those places, that should be somewhere close by. Absolutely.
There has been an area allocated, but I've seen absolutely no movement of any businesses going down there or any construction. So do you know what's happening there?
I think that's pretty common for the way things go on this island in general when it comes to master planning. First there's the hint, then there comes the letters, and then there comes the time to work out the politics of it all, to work out who's going where and what the deals are going to look like. So all that takes time. But at the same time, with growth, with change, I view that as something good as a business owner. With this town being unique, 3 world-class beaches here, you have an international airport 10 minutes away from here. It's going to always be a beautiful place to come and enjoy vacation.
Right.
The idea now is to how do we take this beautiful gift of God that we have here and create it so that all can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's about trying to exclude a certain type of business or exclude a certain type of tourist as much as it's to include more people from different walks of life and with different vacation agendas.
Sounds like a beautiful plan if that could be executed, but
Yes.
all I've seen for 10 years coming here is police chasing girls in pretty dresses up and down the streets and arresting them. So you seem very optimistic that that could change.
I do, only because I see more sophisticated investors coming to invest in Sosua, as opposed to years past where maybe with more novice investors who weren't quite as business savvy, who would start businesses that would flop in a few months. I think more serious players are coming now. More serious investment dollars is coming now. So with that, I'm encouraged because, again, like I said, it depends on who's driving the car. If the first people out put the right thing up, do the right thing with the center of town, put the right type of facade on the business, and give the center of town more curb appeal to match the beauty that exists all around it naturally, this could be a hell of a place.
Great input. Thank you, Mike. Always wise words and a sharp angle. Thank you so much.
All right.
All the best.
All right. Take care.
Sosua especially is known as a party town. So if they get shut down, what do you think all the people are going to do that rely on that tourism?
What I think the people who are really solving out the future of this place, they are aiming for maybe just a bit of difference. So it's still going to be even the very same place, maybe not to be shut down, but just maybe to change few activities. So basically, like these things that they are not really good for the prosper and for the tourist rise in this area, maybe it should be changed because there are another tourists, completely whole set of the tourists who also want to come to Sosua, but they're not coming because of the certain things that is happening.
Okay. And do you think it could backfire to the point when they shut these businesses down that there's going to be like a mini revolution here?
No, but I think that always we should basically all down and speak. If they have some issues, we basically sit down all together as a community so that we can really make something out of this place. That there is a place for everybody to come in.
So you're pretty optimistic about
of course.
the future of Sosua.
Another cruiser port, building it up also in Puerto Plata, so it's actually bringing more people. And then just that we coordinate some things, attracting the new tourists, actually the people who are not coming here because of the some ashes, to find some balance. I'm pretty optimistic that actually everything will be good. That we're going to be even better than Punta Cana, for example.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much for your comments. Great input.
No.
Take care.
You too, guys.
I'm with Ricky, who you've seen on my videos before. Thanks for being on camera.
You're welcome.
Ricky, how do you see Sosua's future?
Sosua's future, well, I seen it a little bad because all what is happening right now. And I think in couple of 6 months, 7 months, it's gonna be really low for Sosua. Well, they're trying to shut down all the business and make it just to 1 o'clock because all the prostitution and all what is happening, but they're trying to make it to Playa Chiquita. It's on the other way of Sosua.
But not much is happening. I was down earlier in this video filming in that very zone that's been allocated for that, but nothing is happening.
They always say it, you know what I mean, but they shut it down, they put it back, they always change their words. So we never know exactly what they're gonna do, but they really wanna shut down Sosua and make it to Playa Chiquita and the other side. Like they wanna make Sosua like El Bate, the center. They wanna make it as a city for family. That's what they're always trying to do.
Yeah, I've heard that for 10 years now, but all I've seen is the economy, because of that push, has gone down. 10 years ago, it was just full of people here.
And it's going to be more down, just for the way they're doing it. They think they're doing it right, but in my opinion, I don't think they're doing it right.
Yeah, well, there's a saying in English, every day is Tuesday, choice day, and the choices they're making are not really making things blossom here, from what I can see. Ricky, thanks for being on camera, and you go and enjoy that swim I stopped you going for.
Thank you very much.
See ya. Ciao. Another thing that recently changed in Sosua was the parking situation on Pedro Clisante, which is the main restaurant and party street. As you can see, this vehicle is parked on the left-hand side, but if the tow truck came along right now, they would sweep it away. And you see the yellow line all the way up the street here. Business owners sometimes drive around the block 3-4 times to try to find a park. And of course, clients can't stop and shop like they used to, so often they just go to some of the bigger supermarkets and shops elsewhere to do their shopping, which strangles the business of the main street here. Maybe another part of their agenda.
Every night it's I count 10, 12, 13 young boys in the age of 9, 10, 11, 12 who are asking the people for money. They are molesting the people.
So you're just saying the police just let the little boys run around?
Yes,
doing their hustling.
Run around and hustling, yes. Yeah. But the truth is, they do things what is not good for the tourism. It's not good for many thousands of people. They work here. I think so many salons, the motor concert rides, you know, the hotels, the restaurants, the bars. They want to close next year on June. So many bars here. This is another thing to kill Sosua, you know, because if the tourists don't feel good in their holidays, they change the location or the country, they go on they look for another destination.
Manfred, thank you very much for your comments. Much appreciated, and let's see how it all unfolds.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Right before hearing from some other interesting business owners, let's quickly take a look at what is happening in Sosua and the surrounding areas. The roads around Sosua and the roadwork routines have finally improved, and much of the electrical grid has and still is being upgraded. Many private-owned companies here are offering good Wi-Fi and fiber optic connections, and the security situation is pretty good in most gated communities as well. Despite the heavy downturn in the economy here, one still sees many risk takers investing in building both residential and commercial spaces to be placed for rent. Yet in my opinion, there are many who fail to think about how things would crash even further if the party spots here in town were killed off, as the very people who rent the rooms and the condos are the folks who bring in all the money to the area. And why on earth would any entrepreneur bother to rent an office or shop space for a new business if there won't be hardly any tourists coming here if they can't go to bars and go clubbing? Many in the past have nicknamed Sosua's town centre as the Caribbean ghetto. However, this reputation, in my opinion, comes from the lack of humane, ethical and correct police work. If they punished or removed any troublemakers, removed the minors from the nightlife, the thieves, the scammers, the beggars, and eliminated any vulgar behavior or stupid driving, then this in itself would send a strong message to the locals not to mess with any well-behaved tourists. And leaders should realize that prostitution is the oldest trade in the world. So rather than trying to destroy the economy in the pursuit of eliminating it, then why not instead be entrepreneurial and create a red light district like they did in Amsterdam, and give those traders and clients a specific zone to go to and gain from the multi-millions that this would bring in annually. And on top of this, the multi-millions they could bring in from family tourism as well. This way leaders could please everyone, fuel the economy 200+% and avoid strikes and potential mini revolutions in the area. Alright, I'm just having a little brisk walk down Sosua Beach, one of the nicest beaches in the Caribbean, I must say. What it's famous for is it has a strip of big trees that's grown over the years that create a lot of shade, and then you have a nice strip of sand out the front before you hit the water's edge, and the water's obviously crystal clear usually, and it's a bay, very, very peaceful and quiet, so if you have children they can swim in there very safely. And there's nice reefs and snorkeling out there too. Anyway, talking about the beach and the future, this may actually get blocked off to the general public. If you look at the road curbs above the beach on the highway, they've already prepared for hotels to go in here, and if the hotels are built here, they may kick the general public out and not give them any access to the beach, which would be a big shame. But that's a typical thing that we see around all islands. All the wealthy are blocking off the access to the general public and making it such a privilege to just get access to swim in the ocean. So I hope the locals here will fight hard to make sure that doesn't happen to Sosua Beach. Alright, so what could actually help Sosua grow? Well, leadership is everything. If the fish is fresh, it's fresh from the head. If the fish stinks, it stinks from the head. The decisions the leaders make enormous difference compared to what an individual tries to do here. So if they really wanted to improve things quickly, they should start with their own police force. Once the general public realizes the police means business, but they're also very respectful and friendly when you behave yourself in a civil manner, well, then things will start growing automatically. Because being a foreigner, I know how we think. If I can come to a place and be safe, be respected, be appreciated, we will come back and we are going to bring a lot of friends. And that's what needs to happen here. Also, what the leaders of this town need to do is to go and talk to the people. Talk to the business owners. Another proverb is, feedback is the breakfast, lunch and dinner of champions. So if they want to be champions at running this town, they better humble down, get out and just talk to people. It's not going to kill them. You don't lose an arm by talking to business people. You don't have to agree with them, but at least get their feedback and then discuss this afterwards and then make their decisions. This would help the town a lot if they are open-minded to learn when it's their turn. Anyway, that's one of my proverbs. Now, the next thing they could do is also make it clear about the plans of the town. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everything's always in the grey. So if it's clear, both to the locals and investors, this is what's going to happen in 6 months, 12 months' time, 18 months' time, etc., then investors would feel more secure to come and put millions of dollars in the place. Anyway, there is outside influences that can destroy tourism as well, and we feel that too. We have the highest airport landing fees in the Caribbean here, and this is all due to corruption, as well as many politicians right up to the very top have huge investments in hotels in Punta Cana, so a lot of the tourism is being steered down to Punta Cana. This hurts the North Coast as well. How can we fix this? Well, that's a different discussion. That's on a very big level, but one voice that speaks out speaks louder than 10,000 that stay silent, so people need to get upset about it. Also, many airlines won't fly here anymore because of these high taxes, so if enough people stand up and put pressure on them to change it, well, that could improve things dramatically too. If you go back to the 90s, the flights were coming into this place like crazy and tens of thousands of people were arriving here all the time. We need to get back to those good times. Anyway, to finish off this video, I'm going to play some very beautiful clips for you. And if you are relocating down here, don't fall in the very expensive traps that are very typical down here. Hire me as a consultant. If you send me an email to info@educatedtraveler.info, I'll send you my price plan. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the information in this video. Stay tuned. See you next time and happy travels. Bye-bye. very quickly, some of my viewers donated a shirt to me, and that's Julie and Mark from Toronto. Marky works at TTC, so here's a shout out for all his fellow workers and everybody who uses the road transportation system in Toronto.